Parker Dam State Park in northern Clearfield County, Pennsylvania. This is our maple sugaring operation, and March of the spring of the year. We do public programs every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. and we also Skype during the days of the week to schools around the world. What I'd like to show you here is how we can tell when we have maple syrup. There are a few different ways. The old timers used to dip a wire loop into it and try and blow a bubble. I'm going to show you a couple other things. Bear with me here as we shift around. If you look into our evaporator, you can see that we do have some bubbles building up, and that's one of the ways you can kind of know when you're getting close, is you have those bubbles like that. Let me put you back over here again. A couple of other ways. The old timers used to kind of scoop in there and watch how it drips off the end of the pan. You can see it's starting to sheet and flop up there. That's another way. If I was an old timer, I could say, oh, yep, we got maple syrup. Most folks nowadays use something called a hydrometer. A hydrometer is a fancy glass float. It's designed to float to a red line when you have the exact syrup density that you need, which is 67% sugar. So I'm going to fill my testing cup here with what I'm hoping is maple syrup. And then I'm going to drop my hydrometer in very carefully. They're made out of glass and they're kind of fragile. I'm going to move this a little closer to you. But when it floats to the red line where my little finger is, which we are pretty much there, then I know I have maple syrup. What I'll do next is draw off that maple syrup until I start to get a little thinner. There's yet another way of checking to see if you have syrup. What you can do is measure the boiling temperature of water, which normally is 212 degrees Fahrenheit, at sea level. We are not at sea level. Barometric pressure changes, so what I would have to do if I'm doing that is put a pan of water on the stove, boil it, measure it, and then add 7.5 degrees. That would be the boiling temperature of pure maple syrup. My thermometer here is just to let me know when I'm drawing off how close I'm getting to where it's thinner. There's another thing that we do use, and that is a light refractometer. What I can do with this is I can measure down to the 1/10% of sugar what that reading is. This also allows me to read maple sap and also check my reverse osmosis to make sure I'm getting that right. It is about 66.3, which means we're right there, close to 67. So what I'm going to do is I am going to draw off some pure maple syrup, and I'm going to watch this thermometer. When it drops about 3 or 4 degrees, I know that I'm getting into where the thin stuff is, and I'll need to shut my valve off. So what we're doing is we're drawing off that slug of syrup, and what I'll do then is I'll filter it, and that'll be another segment here. This is looking like a grade A very dark. I will have to grade my syrup once I run it through the filter press. By law, it has to weigh 11 pounds a gallon or be 67% sugar. It has to be labeled as to where it was made, and it also has to be graded for color, which also is an indicator of flavor. Alright, my needle's starting to drop over here. I'm going to let it drop another few degrees, and then I'm going to close this off. Alright, almost there. Alright, I'm going to call that good. Thanks.